Environmental campaigner and ambassador of the Conservative Environment Network, Stanley Johnson, joins me in the studio now. Stanley, thank you so much for coming in. It's good to see you.
Well, I'm absolutely thrilled you're taking this point today. I mean, and this report, which you've just referred to, Nala, is so extremely important because the idea it is getting across is that there's a global carbon budget out there. You know, it is 40 billion gigatons a year. And if we don't keep to that, actually, we've got to shave that down year after year. We run out of steam by 2030, you know, so it's absolutely vital.
But this is all kind of based on modelling, isn't it? So we do these modelling stuff. Don't we have to be careful that our modelling is actually correct? Because a lot of the modelling, so for example, the modelling during the pandemic, we got that completely wrong. And it was so way off the mark. Don't we have to be careful that our modelling, because the outcome that we're predicting using our current modelling? Well,
you've got 100 top scientists out there behind this report, and one thing is not modelling, which is actually measuring the increase in the presence of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That is an absolute fact. I mean, I think we're on about 418 ppm, and the pre-industrial level was half that. So that is a fact. Now it's the implications of that, which of course does require modelling,
right.
and I think they've pretty much got it right. You see it. I travel around the world the whole time, and you can just see the effects of it: the floods, the drought, the melting of the glaciers, the destruction of the rainforest. I first went to the Amazon, would you believe it, in 1959, and it was twice the size as it was then. I travelled around the Amazon, even in Brasilia, in Manaus, when they were building it.
But that to me is like environmental damage. So I understand, but that's the damage that we're doing to the environment. That's
no, because at least 3.9 billion of those tons you're looking for, these gigatons. That is coming from the forest destruction as well. Do you see what I mean? So you've got to deal with that.
But things like that, I absolutely agree with that we shouldn't be destroying the forest and things like that.
Yeah.
But I kind of look at it and think that, OK, that's a side to the actual issue of CO2 being emitted by the things that we are producing. So, for example, yes, we shouldn't absolutely knock down the forest. That is wrong. I think everyone would agree with that. But with regard to the strategy that we're following in terms of CO2 and going electrified with things, and it doesn't seem to be, we're not making much of an impact.
Well, I thought that Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's statement in Parliament a couple of days ago, I think it was on November the 9th, he did set out, you know, fairly clear position as far as the UK government is concerned, that we do have a legally binding target about reaching net zero by, I think, the year 2050. We have some legally binding targets about the restoration of nature. So, and we are, by the way, putting in money now to help the developing countries adapt to this. It's quite a chunk of money. I have a feeling it's like about £11 billion. But of course, the crucial thing, and that's what they're talking about in Sharm el-Sheikh at the moment, the crucial thing is to get much more money on the table. And the irony is that we had COVID. This country alone produced, would you believe it, £400 billion to deal with COVID. Well, the whole of the climate change deal, which was agreed way back in 2009, said we actually only need £100 billion. It's much more now, of course. So the money is there, but what is lacking, I've got to say, is the political will.
Well, I hear you, but the political will may be lacking. All we have to do is really follow what we did in COVID. Everybody stays at home. Nobody tries anything. There was literally, the sky was clear.
Well, you're right.
It was fine.
You're perfectly right. In the year 2020, there was a fall-off in the emissions. That is absolutely true. I'm afraid we've caught that up again now.
Of course we have, yeah.
We've caught it up.